Welcome into the 8th episode of the Titans Talk 615 podcast. My name is Jax Weber. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. Titans got a huge win against Atlanta Falcons last night, 23-20. Yes, I'm filming this on a Saturday. It's going out today, not Sunday. So early episode this week. Gotta love that. A lot to talk about in this episode. Gotta talk about Cam Warden's progression. Didn't look too. A lot of people think he didn't look too great last night. I think he did great. We'll talk about that as well. Titans also reshaped the linebacker room this week a lot. Brian Callahan post-game talk in the locker room. We'll play that clip for you guys. Cam Ward calling his wide receiver group top 5 in the league. Let's definitely break it all down. Welcome into the 8th episode of Titans Talk 615 podcast, wherever you're listening to, Spotify and YouTube. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you guys need to like, subscribe, whatever you guys do to support the show, it'll be much appreciated. So the Tennessee Titans this week going to break down the game. We're going to kind of talk about, first of all, the game summary. We're going to kind of talk about some drives, talk about also Cam Ward as well, what I saw from him as well. But I do want to get to the linebacker room before I do anything as well, because we reshaped it. So last time we talked, I talked about Tim Boyle's probably going to get released, and he did, literally the episode that actually happened. So Tim Boyle got released on Tuesday, and then Trevor Siemian got brought in to be the third quarterback in the room. Also, Lloyd Cushenberry finally passed his physical, so he's finally back. He's off the PUP list. Love that. Huge move. So also the Titans, Amarfni Orji, who tore his ACL, we just talked about last week, he got waived and injured. Waived also David Jubenda, and they also brought Kaliki, Hudson, and Blake Lynch. That's one linebacker they brought in. And then on Friday, they made an interesting, Friday, an interesting move of waiving Otis Reese and claimed Brian Osma, the second, off waivers from the Minnesota Vikings. So Otis Reese, another piece from Rand Carthon, did not make the team. He's not going to make the team. I think they like a lot of guys better on the roster, which we'll talk about a lot about the linebacker room in a little bit. What I saw from Cedric Gray. Do you want to give him a shout out? We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so let's kind of get into the game today. Let's talk about some drives, and we'll talk about Cam Ward. So Atlanta gets the ball first. They only go 15 yards down the field in 6 minutes and 11 plays, and they only go 3 and out right there. And then the Titans, with Cam Ward's first drive, started out solid. Julius Chestnut got a first run, and then Cam Ward got a big pass to Eric Iomanner for 45 yards down the field. 35 yards down the field to the Titans 45. Clay Mullins got a nice run right there, but Van Jefferson, a deep pass. This one was not the play we're going to talk about today. This was incomplete. Also holding, doesn't count. But another one, deep pass to Van Jefferson, second down and 13. Van Jefferson dropped it. It was a beautiful ball. Great downfield execution for Cam Ward. Jefferson is not hauled in. Frustrating. Also, Seymour DK missed a catch as well, incomplete on third down. So Titans do have a punt. And then the Titans come back on defense, and Kendall Brooks gets an interception. Pick six, takes it to the house for 53 yards. Claimed him on waivers last year from the Cardinals, undrafted free agent from 2024, now making his chance and trying to get on the roster. So now it's 6-0. Joey Slide missed the extra point. Wyatt left. Kind of interesting about that. And then the Titans punt. They force a punt to the Falcons. So again, second quarter now. Cam Ward gets the ball. Only 2 yards. Cam Ward gets incompletion. They try to do a little run. Eric Iomanner incomplete. Dan Moore got hurt. False start on J.C. Latham. Looks like Dan Moore got his ankle stepped on per Brian Callahan. He seems okay for now. Nothing new about that. And Cam Ward incomplete to Seymour DK. Throw looked like it was on the money. It was maybe just a tad high, but incomplete as well. So Atlanta again, they go 6 plays. They also go 3 and out. A couple false start right there that did cost Atlanta as well. So then this was the final drive for Cam Ward, which we'll talk about. Cam Ward incomplete pass to Eric Iomanner, and then he did get a catch for Bryce Oliver for 7 yards, and he made incompletion again to Eric Iomanner. So again, Tyler Lockett and Searid were out yesterday. So Van Jefferson, Eric Iomanner, and Seymour DK are kind of taking the leads at number 1 receivers. So that is all we're going to kind of recap with Cam Ward in the offense. Atlanta actually punted. And Brandon Allen actually came in later in the game. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. So Titans, I think, number 1, did a really good job just not turning over the ball as they did last week. I think they limited those mistakes. I think Brandon Allen had a pretty good game yesterday. He was the leader, 11-14, 119 yards, throw a touchdown to Gunnar Helm, which we'll talk about in a minute as well. Interception for Brandon Allen. Cam Ward went 2 for 7, 42, and did not get a touchdown or throw an interception, which is pretty good. But I know that 2 for 7. I know a lot of you guys are looking at that, and you guys are maybe thinking, "Oh, it's not the best. It's horrible from Cam. It's not good." Well, I'll tell you what. I liked it because number one, you watch him in the pocket. He looks so poised, looks so ready, keeps his head up. It's a guy who moves really great in the pocket. Is what the Titans need as a quarterback, and I truly think that Cam Ward. I know he missed a couple throws yesterday. Van Jefferson one should have been caught. Eric Iomanner maybe probably would have caught as well. So again, probably these 3 to 4 catches. Cam Ward should have had 3 or 4 completions yesterday. Debatable where you want to look at it, but overall, it happens. It's a game of football. I'm not worried at all. None of y'all should be worried. He's gonna bounce back next week. He's gonna learn about it. Glad the road trip's over as well. I know there's been a really long road trip for the guys, and finally they come home to Nashville. Come back today, and they get to rest for this week, and they get to play Minnesota on Friday. So again, I'm not worried about the 2 for 7 for Cam Ward. I don't think any of you guys really should either. He looked poised today. Really, as a quarterback, it's not all about the completions. It's about how you stay mentally focused. I think Cam Ward did stay focused yesterday. Definitely wish he could have had some completions back. I think for sure. He definitely put the ball on the money, man, for sure. And Trevor Siemian 4 for 7 as well. Jordan Mims had a good second half as well. 12 for 50. Longest was 12 yards rush. But Mullings came in there as well. He got more rushes in that game as well. So no Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears dealing with the injury. So again, that's another question. Third running back in that room, who is it going to be, right? Because now Spears is out for the rest of the preseason. He could maybe miss week number 1. That's TBD as of right now. We got to see how he progresses this week and next week. But he could miss week number 1. It could happen. We got to monitor and see what happens. Biggest impact play on receivers, Gunnar Helm. 4 receptions for 48 yards and that big touchdown back shoulder from Brandon Allen. Gunnar Helm, man. Can't more call him a dog. He's a dog, man. I'm a Trojans fan, but that guy's a dog. Eric Iomanner with 2 catches. One of them was from Cam, 47. James Prochet making some nice plays as well. Same with Xavier Restrepo. Restrepo getting some action as well, which we want to see about as well. So we got to see about also next week if the Tennessee Titans are going to be resting Ridley again and Tyler Lockett for the regular season. We're not talking about that. Titans did win possession yesterday. They did win penalty yards. They won total penalties. They only had 6 yesterday. Atlanta had 10 yesterday. So again, less penalties last week than the Tennessee Titans. They had more penalties last week. This week they had less. Love to see that. Again, love the game. I personally think getting a road, first time getting a win since November 2024 is huge. Do I like to see more? Obviously, yeah. I would have loved to see Cam Ward get more action. Love to see Eric Iomanner make a couple more catches. But I'm not worried about that at all. So, again, now we're heading into next week, and Minnesota is actually here. So, I do want to give a couple shout-outs on the defense. Number one, Cedric Gray. I feel like this guy was everywhere on the ball. I feel like he was almost in every play. You know, he's going to fight for the second position of linebacker. You know, he's not – no one's going to make this easy for James Williams. You know, I really think that you guys think, oh, you know, Williams is going to win the spot since he's been here longer. No, I really don't think that. I personally think Gray and Williams are both going to split time. I think they're both going to make the roster. Very excited to see what both do this year. But matters now both. Who's going to take the linebacker number 2 spot? So I think right now, if you ask me, I think it is Gray at the moment. I've really seen a lot for Cedric Gray last week. I watched more film on him. But James Williams is right on his tail. So, but again, both are neck and neck against each other. I do want to also give another shout out to Marcus Harris for back to offense. Harris was almost everywhere on defense yesterday, made a lot of impact plays, good tackling, good ball knowledge as well. He got a couple behind, a couple plays for yards gains, but he was there a lot of times. He made a couple nice plays deep down the field. It was a big shot down the field. It could have been caught for a touchdown, but he kept his head up, knocked that ball down, did what he had to do. So Marcus Harris, 6th-round pick of this year's draft, is making an impact for the team, especially, again, because we don't know what L'Jarius Sneed is going to happen to him. Because L'Jarius Sneed is still on the injury list. He's still on the reserve, not physical to play. Right? Like, he's not ready to go. And that's a big concern for the Tennessee defense right now. If Sneed's not ready to go, Jarvis Brownlee Lee, Roger McClary, Daryl Baker Jr. Again, those top three at corner, along with Harris at that fourth position. So he might be an impact play this year for Tennessee. All right. So offense. We got to go back to the offense now. I think Gunnar Helm, again, should definitely was the big star of the day for all around Tennessee Titans. Gunnar Helm's a dog, and we all know the Tennessee Titans have been missing. I mean, Chig Okawanu is good. We all know that. But Titans were really struggling to find a tight end in the draft. They found him right here. Gunnar Helm, I think they found him right here. Gunnar Helm, that's his play, man. That's his wheelhouse. He said, Cam Moore said after the game, Gunnar Helm is a dog. And he says, it is to my bank plays like that. So Gunnar Helm is going to be a guy who I think could be tight end number one this year towards the middle of the season. But I definitely think he should be an offensive player of the game. I think Eric Ayamaner. I think this is a guy who the Titans are going to need this year. I think they're willing to give a shot to him as well. I know he missed a couple passes from Cam and missed one from Brandon Allen. But overall, I think he looked really solid as well. I think he's going to have a good shot to be that number third slot or the fourth slot on the team. Strepo also, I think, really needs to get some more notice, man. This is a guy who's fighting for a spot, and he's fighting with Prochet right now. It is going to be tough. Receiver room is going to be really scary this year. It's going to be tough with a lot of rookies, a lot of veterans, and veterans on the top, a lot of rookies on the bottom. So Titans receiver room, I think, is going to be pretty good this year. We're going to see where it goes into Minnesota week. All right, so now we got a couple more things to talk about. Cam Ward. We don't want to talk about Cam Ward, college receivers top 5 in the league. We'll get to that in a minute. I do want to get Brian Callahan post-game talk. So here's Brian Callahan.
First and foremost, really proud of how you guys handled this entire trip. That was really good to see. I think we got better from it. We got great work out of it. Really proud of the way you guys fought through all the things that go with being on the road for 10 days. That was awesome. You guys saw it today. That's what games in the NFL come down to, A huge fourth down stop defensively. You get the ball back in a 4-minute, you try to get a first down, and you get the ball back again, We seal it with a hell of a sack to kick them out of field goal range. That's how every game finishes, You guys battled your ass off, all you guys fighting for jobs, It was great to see the effort, the finish, and the fight you guys showed. That's outstanding, We're going to get back tomorrow. We'll flush it. But with our lift, we'll watch the tape. You guys have the off day the following day, and we'll finish up our last week of the preseason. Okay. One note though, KB, that was the first preseason pick 6 in 10 years for the Titans.
Hey, good team win, boys. Family on 3, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, y'all. So now we're back from hearing from Brian Callahan in the locker room with Cody Barton at the end right there. So now the Titans get to go home, man. We're finally back home in Nashville this weekend on Friday. Again, another episode will be out on Saturday of next week. So for the games that are on Fridays now, we're going to do Saturday episodes. So just want to let y'all know about that. We do game episodes on Saturday. So it's fun. I love doing episodes randomly. So we're going to have a schedule, which I'll let you guys know in the next couple weeks after the Minnesota game. So right now, so after we just got about that, Cam Ward was talking this week to media in Atlanta, and he said his receivers are top 5 wide receiver group in the league. Here's Cam Ward talking about his receiver group.
Just the playmakers that I have in the backfield with me, the running back core, then especially in the receiving core. I think I also have a top 5 receiver core in the NFL, including the young guys who are able to make plays. It's really all about just us or myself putting the ball in their frame of work, letting them make a play. And then it's also those guys being aggressive to make plays for the team.
All right, y'all. So now, after you guys heard about the top 5 unit with Cam Ward, do want to talk about a question now, which we'll get in a minute. But good comment by Cam Ward. Look, he's poising himself. He's poising the receiver room. He has high expectations for these guys. I definitely like that from a rookie quarterback. All right, so the big question is, would you guys rather keep Van Jefferson, who's 26, who's just learning the team? He's from Brentwood, Tennessee. He had a decent with the Rams, with Matthew Stafford under there. But now he's went to Atlanta, struggled there, went to Pittsburgh, also struggled there. Now, do you guys think that the Titans, when it's 53-man roster day, because it's just one day of cuts, okay? It's not 2 days, not 3 days, just one day of cuts. Would you guys think Van Jefferson or Xavier Restrepo as one of the final decisions for the receiver room? It's going to be tough. Because Restrepo already has connections with Cam. He already has chemistry's already there. The mentality's already there. They're best friends. It's a huge, huge plus. One of the downsides is he's a little bit more smaller than Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson's a little more bigger than Xavier Restrepo. What would you guys rather do? Me personally, I'd rather pick Xavier Restrepo. I'm picking Xavier Restrepo to make the roster. It's a cool story. Undrafted free agent. Should have been drafted. Was not even drafted. It's just crazy to me. So, guy who was one of Miami Hurricanes' best receivers last year, the Canes. Hope Xavier Restrepo makes the team. But it matters next week if the two Deans. If he plays maybe a series of ones with Cam. And two, if he plays, again, to add on to that, if he plays more two series, like he plays more of the twos than some of these other receivers. So it means maybe next week we're not going to see Calvin Ridley. Might not see Tyler Lockett next week. They might be resting as well. So definitely keep that in mind as we head into next week. All right. Do want to give some grief. Jim Wyatt, who did lose his dad this week. Jim Wyatt's one of the best Titans social media members. Thoughts and prayers to Jim and the Wyatt family this week. Jim, such a great guy. Has a good smile on his face. None of the Titans media people or anybody could do media without Jim. I mean, this guy is a face of the media. Probably one of the best guys you ever meet around. Always a big smile on his face. Always out there. Every practice, always wanting to say hi. And I asked Jim a question because I want to bring this up. Because if you guys know, I'm a huge Angels fan, man. I bleed Angels red, man. Every single day, you guys know me. If you guys see me around, I'm a huge Angels fan. Jim Wyatt's a Dodger fan. He bleeds blue. And I asked him, I said, why are you a Dodgers fan, man? You know, just generally asked. Like, how come you became a Dodger fan? He's like, his dad. His dad was a huge Dodgers fan, too. You know, Jim went to Atlanta, watched a lot of the games, stayed tuned with them, had a lot of favorite players. Can't remember some of them at the moment. But just that general connection with your father. That's why I'm an Angels fan, too. My dad's a huge Angels fan. I'm an Angels fan, too. So you grow up with your parents, and if you're a huge sports fan in the house, that's why a lot of people ask me outside of the podcast, everything, why am I an Angels fan? It's because my father and Jim said the same exact thing. So do want to give thoughts and prayers to Jim and his whole family and the whole Wyatt family at this time. Jim Wyatt was not there for practice this week in Atlanta. He took some time off, and then Tron Davenport, Buck Rising, they all filled in. Easton Freeze filled in as well this week. And then Jim came for the game on Friday. So just want to give my thoughts and prayers. And we all love Jim Wyatt. Send some love to Jim Wyatt. Check out his social media pages. Check him out. Give him some love. Give him a shout out. Send a message to him. Tell him you're thinking about him. He would appreciate it. He reads all of them. So, all right, man. All right, y'all. Just want to say, hope y'all have a blessed week. Have a good rest of your weekend. Episode out next week against Saturday on this after the game on the 23rd next week. Also, Minnesota Vikings at the Tennessee Titans. We're home this week. Home game. Vibes are up. Nissan Stadium, get loud. Cam Ward's debut at Nissan Stadium next Friday. All right, y'all. Hope y'all have a good one. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Love every single one of y'all. Tie it up. Peace out, buddy.